Hello. In this video, we're going to just kind of go through a variety of tools. Basically, we're going to start with a single piece of fabric, as you could potentially imagine, and we're going to cut that into a bunch of different pieces and make that into different layers. We're going to edit vertices. We're going to work with attribute information, polygons, lines. It's going to kind of cover the whole gambit of what Atlas is capable of, but also just what you might find yourself doing on a daily basis. So let's just jump right into it. If you haven't already, just select your practice parcel layer, select layer all, view map chosen, and that will take you to where I am. So for this, we're going to use the 2018 imagery. If you don't have that imagery, it should be available for you. This could also be done with the 2016 imagery or Google satellite imagery, which is accessed through the add base map layer, but let's all try to use the 2018 imagery. And the first step here is we have this parcel. So it's kind of abstract to think about, but with copying layers and moving layers, you can sort of start with one piece, and this is obviously a polygon that I have selected here, and with that you can create other features. You can cut this up using the split feature tool or edit geographic split overlays, and make that into other pieces. So we're going to be working with land class. I'm going to turn that on. Land class Regen should be turned on, and roads and streams. If you wanted, you could turn off parcel for now because we're just working with this practice parcel. So the first step here is to make a new piece of fabric, and we're just going to copy practice parcel to land class. So right now, if you see, I'm right clicking here. The only thing that's on is practice parcel, so I'm going to select that, edit geographic copy. I'm going to copy that to an existing layer called land class and click OK. So now you can see I have land class here. That's my selection layer, and I can select it. So let's turn on our imagery. And straight off the bat, you can see we have a few regen units in here. We have a road coming across, maybe some sort of other selection on these trees over here. This actually is not part of Sierra Pacific ownership, so I don't really know what is in here. There's a few roads up here, it looks like, but one thing's for sure is there's some regen units and some roads. So that's what this, the task at hand here is just going to be cutting this fabric into regen units and adding roads. It's a little bit hard to see, but I do have some roads around the periphery here. Let me see if I can make that a little more obvious. Let's make those red for now. So we've got some roads out here. Looks like there's a road here. Maybe we can connect this road back together. So first step, I just want to show how to use the split feature tool. And this can only be accessed using the toolbar, so I'm going to click on that. And this is actually a fairly large concept, but I'm just going to go straight through it. What we want to do is cut out a piece of this land class fabric to then copy to the regen layer. So land class usually identifies the ground cover, and in this case we'll just keep it simple, and we'll call all these green trees are going to be M for mixed timber, and these regen units land class is going to be R for regen. So let's go ahead and cut out this first regen unit here. So I have the split features tool selected, and the biggest part of this concept that you have to understand is you have to start outside of the piece of fabric that you want to cut. So you can see these little grid in here. That's my land class. So I'm just going to go right through here. There was a vert there, so I just grabbed that vert. I'm not sure if you're going to have a vert there. You don't really need to grab it. Best practice is to grab something if it's there so you can keep everything tight. And I'm just going to work up this road. And I'm just going to follow this boundary. Go ahead and take some time with this. I'm going a little bit quick, but take your time and try to make that boundary look pretty good. Not too many verts, not too few. There's kind of a sweet spot in there. What I did is maybe a little bit light on the verts, but I went fairly quickly just to show you. So now I've hit enter, and that's going to split that land class. So I started on the outside, I came through, and then I ended on the outside. So you kind of have to make a full cut out of that fabric. So now I have two pieces of land class. And let's go ahead and work with the attribute data now that we have a couple different pieces here. So using my feature info dockable window, I'm going to click on this and I'm going to assign that a value. So you can see the C1 field for land class. I just used EAB. C1 class houses the unique identifying letter that signifies if it's mixed or regen or non-timber and so on. So we're going to stay with M and R for now. So we know this is regen, a regen unit, and we're going to call that R. So I just typed R in there and click save. And let's just call this whole huge piece here M for now. It's kind of a time saver because as we cut through here, everything that we're going to cut out is going to be R, so we'll change that, and then everything that's left over is going to be M for mixed. Okay, so sometimes what's nice to do, because visually at the moment we can't see these attributes, so let's go into land class and see what we're doing here. Oh, looks like the label visibility is just off. So I'm going to turn that on. And there's already an expression in here. Let's just take a look at that real quick. So it looks like there's a lot going on here, but basically what this is doing is it's just saying if the land class is an L, it's going to show this data, and it's going to concatenate that data, and it's going to also piece on the C1, C2, C3. So what we should see is what we assigned there, and there you go. So that's looking like an R, and here's the label for the rest of it, the M. Okay, great. So if you are still with me, just go ahead and continue to cut out this fabric. Now, always remember that you have to start on the outside. So maybe a logical choice would be here. And now there is one trick, so let me just show you how this works. I'm going to cut out one more, and I'm not going to start on the outside. I'm going to make this really quick and dirty here. You should be spending a little more time with the vertices. So I'm just going to come through here, and this is kind of, it's hard to really think about this concept, but I'm trying to cut out a cookie cutter piece right out of the middle here. So if I were to end here, nothing would happen. I can hit backspace there to go back because I didn't do that right. But if I were to cross over, I would complete that polygon, so to speak. And now if I hit enter, it will actually chop a little cookie cutter piece out of there. So that's kind of advanced. It is a nice trick and it's a big time saver. You could have also just started out here, but that is a new tool, so let's just go ahead and use that for now since it is a time saver. There is another way to do it, and we'll probably touch on that later, but for now, go ahead and cut out the rest of these regen units here. Looks like we have 7, so you should end up with all of these obvious regen units cut out, and after you've cut out each one, select it or click on it, update the attribute information to C1, and click Save. Once you get that done, move on to the next step.